in Steiglitz today, and I'm just walking down the side of the track here along the creek, back in the area where I found the old bottle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to trace up the creek with an old map that I've got and find out if there's anything up one of the side feeders of it, because by the way the old map says, the alluvial gold came from up that side creek. It didn't come along this main creek here in front of us. So I'm going to have a bit of a look at that and see what else I can find. And of course I'm just walking up the normal track, and there's two ways to go. There's a little road down there, or there was, and there was a little track here. So I started coming up the top here. When I got to this waste rock pile, there's an old shaft. It's all caved in. I don't know how deep it would have gone, and I don't know if it goes any other direction, but yeah, there you go. What about that way? Yeah, maybe. Anyway, and just by looking, you can see that there's a track going up here. So I'm going to follow that, see where it goes. It may end up going to the old diggings that I found last time I was here. But just looking up the hill there, it looks like there's a bit of a pile of dirt. It doesn't look quite normal, so I'm going to go up and have a look at that. Well, it doesn't look to be a shaft where I just come up the hill there, even though all the rubbish down the hill said there was. There is one there, so I'm just going to have a look around and see if I can find another one. I don't think that's the only one here. I reckon no, there wasn't one there. Maybe. No, that rock's too big. But this stuff here has definitely been pulled out of a mine and dumped. There's no two ways of looking at that. Upon looking at the map, I'd say that this was the Italian reef that is marked. So this is one of the actual reefs that they would have tunneled or dug a shaft down into it and went along its line, and it kind of follows the line that the map says up that way, and up the top there you got the actual walking track that comes through. So I don't think it's part of the Birchall Trail. It might be, but that's a good one. That's the first reef marked off in what I'm going to try to do around here. Here's the original little mine site that I found last time I was in here in the last video, and I'm thinking that this is part of the Italian reef as well. There's what probably was the old adit going in before it all collapsed, and there's what I reckon is the loading point. And another bottle that I found, it's more the normal one, but it's an old MBCV bottle. And they reckon around the 1930s. And there's the Carlton logo on the bottom. And it has got 67 under it, so I wonder when it was actually made. Apparently, by what the map says, there was a bridge right here, or somewhere around here, right on this edge, going into that area where I found the firebox, the bottle, and the chimney basin, the hut sites. Having a little bit more of a look around, especially at the little gullies across the other side. I noticed on the map said that the bridge was where the gully was, which back up there, when I said there was a bridge, there's no gully on the other side. So had a bit more of a look around, and there's some evidence that there was a bit of a structure here. There's an old well, it looks like a small gauge rail beaten into the ground, and some more metal there. It could be a few little bits and pieces in the creek. I'll just have a bit of a kick around and see what I can find. Goodness me, wandering around on the other side of the bank. Check that one out. What a pity that's not a full bottle. Right now I've walked up a little bit of Kiln Gully. This heads south, kind of southeast from the main creek. And by the old map that I've got, this leading into the creek and heading west through the town are the only places that's got alluvial gold. You can see there's quite a few diggings here. They got holes out there. They've dug all this bank out, and I'm gonna just head a little bit further up. And the road, there was the little cottages on that rise there, and there's a little road. You can just see the indent going through where the little rocks are. You can probably see that that was an old road heading along the side of the gully. You can see how it's been dug out. Very overgrown now, but quite a few little holes and things along the side of the river. We'll just keep going up it, see what else is here. There's diggings up there, just under that big tree there, over there. And just up the hill slightly, quite a few little prospect holes. But down here the road's very pronounced. There it is there, and it's nice and clear here for a little bit. Yep, there it is. Quite possible this was an old hut site. It's long enough, they've made it flat enough. Actually got a little pile of rocks in the corner here. There's another little flat area just above it. And it looks like the path come up from the creek through the front door and in. Anyway, I'm just guessing, but it's good to have a bit of a think about it. The road finished, just kind of went into a little into nothing really, but I think it might be back again. Not sure. It's hard to pick it at the moment. We found this old road again, unless it's a new one coming from the same area. And it's obvious through all these would have been linked up. I'd say being Kiln Gully, well, it stands to reason there was probably a brick kiln up the end here, and there is a road that goes to the end of this. And I kind of want to see what's down here, what's along the unwalked end, I guess you could say. I'm back to the spot where I finished my last video, where I stopped going up the river here, up the creek, and there was a little prospect dig there. The map says that there's no alluvial gold up here at all, and it stops at the Kiln Gully. Now I walked all the way up the end of Kiln Gully, and as you would have seen, there's a few little diggings, but once you get to the end of it, there really is nothing. There's no kiln left, anything like that, so I didn't even bother filming it, which makes me think maybe the fireplace, the firebox in that little cleared area where the few huts and that were, and the water race from the last video might have been where the brick kiln was. Don't know. I doubt it was a crusher, because there wasn't heaps and heaps of crushed quartz all over the place. So I'm going to go up that hill across here, and it's supposed to be a a reef up there, an unnamed reef. So I'm going to see if there's any workings there, and then keep working my way along the river, possibly till I get a track. Although it does look like there's been a little pathway run around the side of this, so it might be easy, it might be hard, who knows. Just come up the hill, and as you can see, there's a tailings pole running down it, a lot of quartz in it, and there is that would be the old shaft, or at it. I reckon it was a shaft more than anything, and it runs north south, which is heading that way, and it looks like there's more diggings up there, so I'll go and have a look. Came from down there, the shaft is down that way, so it's interesting because I can't find any. I'm on a big flat area, it's obviously mine tailings, but I can't find a shaft or an adit anywhere. The only depression seems to be there. It could be, because they wouldn't have brought their tailings uphill unless they had a winch or something up here that they used to use to come up and down that shaft. But the top of the hill there doesn't look like there's been anyone working. It doesn't look like there's human activity, only just here and down where that shaft is. And there's a lot of quartz here, and the rest of the hill is just like that. It's just rock everywhere, and then all of a sudden you get this smooth bit where all this waste is, and quartz like that on the ground. So definitely something was here. Can't find it though. Spoke a bit too soon. There's a shaft there. Just going down the other side rather than go back the way I came, and there it was. We're walking along the creek here. It says this is a tunnel on the old map, but the tunnel goes all the way through a mountain. Just looks like an adit to me, so I'll go in and have a quick look, see what happens. And there's on the map it's called a tunnel, but it's actually just an adit that they drove in. For what reason I have no idea, because they just stopped right there, which is interesting. Wonder why. There is a reef up here. This is a little bit further up the creek. I've just walked all the way up the creek now. Now there is a reef up here. Maybe they were trying to get to that. So maybe that was going into the London reef and the Copenhagen reef, or Copenhagen reef, whichever side of the river you come from. And we're pretty close to getting into some private property, so I'll just stay along the creek here and see if I can cross the line of the reef and then head back. But that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 reefs today that I've managed to locate, and yeah, very interesting. Well, I'm on my way back to the car. As you can see, there's a little road there going along the inside of this bend. This is just where earlier on I climbed up and had a look at that little reef that I only found a little bit of evidence that it was there. A couple of waste rock piles, maybe the shaft going down. And I went all the way up to the tunnel, which is actually just an adit, and it looks like from the map that they pushed in hoping to meet the bottom of London Reef. So that's getting into private property up there, so I'm not gonna worry about that anymore. And I was just walking back along the creek and saw the little road, so I thought I'd highlight it. Even walking back along an area that the map says there was no alluvial gold, they were still digging down in the bank for a bit of a look. So I guess wherever there's a reef above it, and if it's got gold in it, it's going to shed gold into the lower part, which is the creek. So I guess that's why they call it prospecting. Another little dig right there. Anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed this short one. I think it was three reefs I managed to locate where they were, and I'll mark them on the map anyway. And I'll see you later. Hooroo.